What is up, guys? It is your boy 12-inch coming at you with another iteration of simple answers. And this is a question I get a lot. It is, when should I migrate? Migration, as poised by a lot of people will tell you different reasons for why you should go to different kingdoms. For me, it comes down to three simple things. I like to think of competition, right? What seed your kingdom is going to be. I like to think of resources, if we are winning or losing, if we're getting gold chests, those types of things. And I like to think of alliance cohesion. These are going to be the three big things that I look for when I am looking for a migration. And as a bonus, I would also consider reputation to be in there as well. The seed of the kingdom is going to be very important. If you have an account that looks like mine, my kingdom does well in an Imperium. I can trade well and I can still do okay. But at the end of the day, I still am free to play, right? So the competition here is fierce when it comes to 1365 and the KVKs they usually take. If you do not have an account that is well developed, if you do not have legendary gear, like say, the set we have right here, if you don't have gear that looks like this, perhaps an Imperium kingdom is not the kingdom for you. Perhaps you're looking for a high C seed or a competitive B seed or a low A seed. The seed of the kingdom can generally be determined by going to the 1093 Looker Studio, which I will include in the description below, and you decide if you want like an A, B, C, or D kingdom. Just deciding on how much you spend and how active you are and how competitive you are, and then you can look at the requirements they have to make sure that you can stay in the top alliance. Next is going to be the resources that you get. A competitive player should be looking to get at least 3 to 6 gold chests per day, every day. If you can do that, your kingdom is generally doing you pretty well. On top of that, most people are generally going to be looking to be winning KVK for obvious reasons, between Conquest coins and barbs and the amount of resources you can get and how you can get them. Generally, winning at least 50% of your KVKs is a really good idea. Unless you're specifically looking for kill points, then losing your KVKs is fine, but you don't want to start losing KVKs until you've won enough to get the gear you're looking for. Next is going to be the cohesion of the alliances. So if we look at the rankings and we look at the alliance power, JST and INT, like 1365 is very well run kingdom. A lot of people have a lot of criticism when it comes to larger kingdoms, whether that be like 960, 93, 1365, 2268, you name it, people will always be complaining about how the top kingdoms are being run. However, something I will say is, like, for any complaint that I've ever had about 1365, that complaint isn't that there wasn't enough competent leadership running things. For better or worse, like, I never have to touch a leadership in any capacity. They don't really ask people for help like that. They just have everything as it's going to go. They say do this and you do that. A smaller kingdom isn't going to have that, right? When it comes to like a C or a D kingdom, unless they're absolutely elite, usually people are always going to be looking for help in leadership. Some things aren't going to get done if somebody's sick or not there. The cohesion of each alliance is going to change drastically depending on the quality of leadership you have. And it's often very hard to tell because, for example, in 1365, like, even if like a couple of the top leadership guys were to take like a KVK off, at the end of the day, there's so many people in leadership, they'd really be able to push it forward and it would probably still be fine. I think that's not very common. If you can find that, that's obviously something to really consider when it comes to kingdoms. And the last thing here that I'll talk about is reputation. So 1365 obviously has a pretty good reputation as a very good fighting kingdom. For example, like 1606 here, like they have a good reputation. 2268 pre-SW had like a pretty good reputation as a very good fighting kingdom. They put up a very good stats, 1093, 1960, perhaps like 2100 had a pretty good one. There are a bunch of kingdoms that have like pretty good reps, and kingdoms that have like good name brand recognition, or at least are known as like very staunch good fighting kingdoms, are solid to go into. Generally, the reputation isn't the end all be all, but when it comes to allying with people and making sure that you have good, at least balanced KVKs, your reputation is going to play a huge part in that. When it comes to migration, the biggest things are make sure you're getting a good amount of gold chests, make sure the kingdom isn't falling apart, make sure the kingdom has a decent reputation, and make sure there's enough leadership, right? At the end of the day, if your kingdom is missing a lot of those, perhaps you should consider migrating if you're not winning KVKs or whatever. But if you are, and if your kingdom sounds like it has most of those, perhaps you should stay a little longer and make sure that it's worth staying. Other than that, guys, have a great one. Hope this helped y'all. If y'all want to help support the stream, please consider liking. If y'all want to help support the video, if y'all want to help support the channel, please consider liking, following, subscribing, hitting the notification bell in the description below. If you guys want to help the stream financially, please consider donating to the Streamlabs link in the description below. If you guys want account coaching, remember we do on-stream account coaching for 35 bucks a session and off-stream account coaching for 75 bucks a session. And to get there, you go to the Discord in the description below and you make a ticket to get in. Other than that, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Have yourselves an absolutely wonderful day.